My husband and I recently celebrated our 3-year anniversary. So while my daughter takes a nap and I'm escaping in her room that I'm trying to clean up, that you see is a hot mess kind of a little bit. Let's not focus on that. Let me give you the backstory on our elopement and why we would 1000% do it again. Okay? Here's my backstory. I was never the little girl who dreamed about the wedding day. I was never the little girl who dreamed about her wedding dress. So it was easy for me to not really romanticize it that much. So that plays into a lot of making the decision very easy. Now, I have been a part of many weddings, upwards to about 20. I've been a bridesmaid and a maid of honor many times. So I genuinely love celebrating with my friends and my family. I love it. It's so sweet. It's so special. And so this is definitely not a video saying that you should not have a wedding. It's definitely not a video saying that it's a bad idea. If that is your dream, please go for it. This video is for those of who may be thinking of doing it a little bit differently. I'm just saying, if you're thinking about eloping and you want to know the story about someone from someone who eloped and whether or not it's worth it, this is for you. Okay. So as I was saying, get comfortable here, guys. It was never a dream of mine to do so. I saw a lot of the drama when I was a bridesmaid and maid of honor. I had a front row seat to a lot of the things, whether it was who all is in the bridal party and who wasn't in the bridal party and who was the maid of honor, who was invited, who wasn't invited. Why would you invite them? And people who came not because they supported you or not because they wanted to be happy for you or rejoice with you, but out of some obligatory, like I know your mama since way back when and da-da-da-da-da. So I've seen all those things. And again, as someone who never romanticized the situation, it just was not it for me. Of course, there was the big financial reason, which I have learned that finances is always one of the big reasons for divorces. And so I never really understood how so many people went into debt for their one day. I do have a story of a friend of mine who shared with me that she went into debt for her wedding. She has since been divorced many years, and she is still paying off that debt from that wedding day. And she is not unique in this. Many, many people have gone into debt for their wedding. There are studies that show that this is a common practice that happens. For me, I can't even fathom it. I can't fathom, especially after seeing the statistics that so many marriages end in divorce because of financial burden. So it just never made sense to me to go into debt, starting my marriage in debt, and doing something that would promote us possibly getting divorced faster. It didn't compute in my mind. So that is my background. That is my context for why eloping was just a no-brainer. Now, for my husband's context, well, his parents eloped. So he has that sweet memory of his mom and dad and their loving marriage and how well that worked out for them. And so he always kind of was interested in doing that. And he says that he never really thought he would meet a woman that would want to do that because he figured most women want a wedding day and want their special day, which in all fairness, most women do. So for him, we worked together. And so when we were working in the same office, he overheard me saying to a friend, a coworker, that I wanted to elope. And at the time he was interested in me. So it was a green flag in his mind to pursue me even more. So, yep. So that's his context. You've heard my context. Now fast forward to us getting together. And now we're talking about marriage. We decided that we wanted to elope, obviously, but it wasn't that simple because we also had the barriers of our loved ones and our families who we know they want the wedding, they want the whole thing. So we only told probably 3 people who we entrusted to help us think through the whole thing. And we didn't want to tell too many people because we knew that they would try to convince us out of it and talk us out of it because everyone wants what they think is best, right? It's not even about what was best for you, is what they think is best for you. This is one of the biggest pieces of advice I would have to say is do what is best for your marriage and your future marriage, because a lot of people are going to tell you what they think you should do and what they feel is right. And that may not align with your marriage. Everyone's marriage is very different. Everyone's story is very different. You are writing your own love story. Remember that. You're not writing someone else's love story. So you have to do what's best for you and your spouse. So we only told a few people we entrusted to hear us out, share what they feel, but ultimately, like, we're able to make our own decisions without it being dramatic in any way. So obviously we eloped and it was amazing. It was beautiful. There is a place in our city that specializes in micro weddings and elopements. That's not the courthouse. That's where we went. And it was just the two of us. And it was really sweet and really intimate and so special, so meaningful. And if you know my and my husband's personalities, it's so fitting that the both of us just had a quiet, intimate, just the two of us thing. And it's just so deep and meaningful for us both. And we went on the tour, essentially the tour of telling everyone we eloped. And surprisingly, most people that knew us supported us 100%. There was not much background at all. But there were a few people who didn't know us very well. There were people from my church. I'm a church girl. So there was a whole other drama. That's a whole nother story time for another day. Because, church has churchisms and churchy ways. So it didn't really fly with some people. That's a whole other story. Let's focus over here. So let me know if you want that story. We ultimately, everyone that knew me, even my mom was like, oh, I'm disappointed there's no wedding, but like, this is definitely, I'm not surprised that she would do that. That's you. You've never been really fussy about anything. Most people did support us right away. Most people were very, very, very happy for us right away. Like I said, it's just your few outliers, and the few outliers, it was just like the most surprising. Like, what stock do you have? Why are you so invested? Yeah, it's just interesting, the people that get up in arms a little bit, because it's like, we're not even that close. That was the reception of it all. It really went well overall. No regrets there. The only regret I would say I have is that we did not have a professional photographer. So the few photos we got taken, I don't know why there's a quotation mark. We actually took photos. We actually got photos taken from the person that was there. The few photos we got taken are horrible. We both hate them so much. I do not want them shared ever. I wish we had gotten better photographs. So hire your photographer. We kind of really just did not think through all the things with that. And that's the one regret I have. But other than that, no regrets. Absolutely no regrets. In fact, since then, we have heard so many stories of weddings going awry, and we would just look at each other and be like, thank God we eloped. We just skipped all that drama. If even within same said church that caused a lot of fuss over me eloping, there were a couple of weddings that happened there after the fact, and it has just not been pretty, y'all. And it's just like, oh, these were the people that were mad that we did it our way. Ciao. Anyway, we paid all of $200, and that included the marriage license, but we took a first class honeymoon to Cuba, and we had the time of our lives. So there was no expense spared. We spent so much money on our honeymoon, as is appropriate, and we just had a best time. Again, we did it our way, and it was fantabulous. Fantastic and fabulous. And we would not change it for anything. So all that to say, would we do it again? Absolutely. 100%. Do I think you should elope? Yes. Yes, do it. But listen, don't just do it. Really think about it. Consider your priorities. Consider what's important to you. I will say definitely do what's best for you, your spouse, the future of your family. Only you know. Sit down with them, have the conversations, have the communication, talk about the pros, talk about the cons, talk about the what ifs. This is important. Talk about the costs. Talk about what could go right. Talk about what could go wrong. And I mean, these are all the things we did, and we decided that it was worth it. And we are so happy we did it. Again, we would do it 1,000 times again. My daughter is waking up and staring right into the camera of the monitor. So let me go get my baby. Let me know if you have any questions. I am all for this. And yeah, I can make another video explaining any details you want. So let me know.